another statistic. Maybe a photo on the board for a few weeks. We're so busy stopping people stealing quarters from dryers and washers, but we can't take 60 minutes out of our day, say goodbye to the ones that we work beside. And maybe on the more sinister note, and I'm not saying this as a dig, but Matt, and I mean this genuinely out of the fullest amount of respect, um, used an analogy a few months ago about a cog in a wheel. And I have never in my career as an LEO felt more replaceable. And I'd be lying if I didn't say that that was one of the biggest reasons for why I decided to step away. I didn't feel this current structure was worth dying for.
Okay. Again, I think me and Matt aren't going to question you on that. We want you to be safe and alive, and if this is the choice you want to make, then so be it. But I want to know whether or not you're okay with me and with us, and so it can. You okay? What's this guy?
I don't know. This dog is cute.
Very cute dog. So we're having that private conversation. There's two other benches set. Two other benches set.
Is Max's legislation about locals still in place?
No, they're people again. Should we let's move? We'll move benches. So
Here you go.
thank you.
This one's all yours, bud.
Yeah, we must really like this bench out.
To answer your question though, I'm okay, and I'm safe.
And you're okay with us?
I am. I do have a question.
Right.
We've had some problems recently, obviously with the family hiccups and concerns. Matt, I know with, I guess, whatever happened with Etta, it was with good intention, based on things you had going on, and I don't want to conflict you. Is there anything regarding the family that is of concern in this moment that isn't already on the table?
Um, I mean, for me, the whole the, the whole Rue stuff that happened, I find that to be very problematic.
I'd do it again.
I don't agree
I
with
don't
it.
regret what I did one bit.
I won't lie, respectfully. Uh, Judas, based on the very, very little bit that I know, if you need me to stop talking, you can tell me.
I don't I don't want to hear anything about it.
Okay.
I don't like that immediately upon whatever happened, Rue wanted to speak to me. Because there's no good that's going to come of a conversation regarding anything she could have said at that time.
I don't disagree. And like I said, I don't agree with what happened. It was problematic. And I tried not to ask too many questions because I wasn't there for the conversation that I guess the family had. And I wasn't there, obviously, for whatever happened. Um, as long as there is, I'm going to call it the understanding that even though I severely disagree with what happened, that Rue is still my daughter. I do not want to be judged for still caring for my daughter.
Okay, let me ask you this. Let's say tomorrow I'm on duty. Something happens. And Rue ends up being responsible for shooting me. Then what?
Yeah, that's something that's going to bother me. That's a horrible what if, and it is a strong
Mm-hmm.
possibility.
Mm-hmm. And at that point, I'm still expected to just respect that.
No.
If we meet Joe, I'm right across the street at this point.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
I said it could be me. ADMC are already starting problems with the marshal. So, could be either of us.
I know. I heard from one of them that apparently someone had yelled at you yesterday.
I really tried.
I know.
I don't want... Like, I don't want anything to happen with that group. Because... I can't get into details, son, but... yeah, Angel's not the director, sorry. She's not messing around.
If the rumors are true about the marshals and the kind of equipment that you guys are being provided, I'm not making any form of defense whatsoever. But even I have concerns about a State Department having access to tanks. Marshals don't have a perfect image because they're sort of an unknown entity to a lot of people. They're still unknown to me.
That's fair.
So that
Also
is not a...
getting a bit
Sorry,
off
go ahead.
topic.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I'm not speaking for anybody, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend to have a defense. But from what I've heard, I'm not personally surprised if people are have an initial negative response.
Bro, call... sorry. Bro called me yesterday. She, for some reason, is already questioning why I'm a marshal. I gave her my answer, and she still questioned why.
Let me ask what
And
you're... Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'll be honest. I was short with her. And I'm gonna be short with her, given how we left things off. I'm just, I'm, I'm distancing myself because it's very clear that I'm the one who, at least for the majority of this family, has got the differing ideals. So, and proving my point, really, calling me up and questioning why I'm a cop again, without even knowing the legislation or even reading it.
She told me that you guys spoke. She didn't go into context. I I do want to bring this to kind of a forefront. So, first off, you don't owe her any answer. You're not required to. Um, Rue was also in Sanguine. That thing I said about people who have assumptions, respectfully, me being one of them. When you hear State Department and tanks, and you're talking to somebody who dealt with a State Department and tanks, I think it's fair to say that she won't have an initial positive reaction to it.
To be clear, though, Richard mentioned she asked why he's a cop. Am I right in saying that?
I can't remember the exact specifics. No, I think she knew I was a marshal. She did know I was. She was asking. I think she said I heard you were a state marshal. So she was
And
just
the
asking
only
why. She just wanted to know why I was doing it. I said because it's the right thing. And she was like, "Yeah, but why?" And you know, basically she was saying, "But you guys have tanks, and you know, it goes against Stadium C and the club, and yeah,
and try to hold police accountable when
right."
they screw up. Not if, but when they screw up.
That's exactly what
But
I
that
said.
seems to get glossed over.
I'll be honest. I'm being honest here. I called her out for having a selfish attitude because all she looked at and all I spoke to. I don't know whether I said the same thing when I spoke to Tally too. I know I think this was just rule, but this is the issue people have: is all they see is how it affects them and not how it affects the whole. Because like the investigation side of things into criminal organizations, yeah, that's going to happen, but I think that primarily it's, you know, at least for me, and I think for the most part, that most of our work so far has been into the police department, and I think that's what it's mostly going to be. That all the people are going to see is how it's going to affect them and that gang or that group.
I don't I don't disagree. But I do think again, the point of concern, 'cause she brought up tanks, correct?
Yeah.
I haven't spoken with her about she really feels about things. Um, she still deals with trauma, bad, bad trauma from Sanguine. And it truly sounds like she's somewhat gun shy to the thought of that being next to where she is. I don't think that it's specifically the gang concern. I feel like if her concern was what you have access to, then yeah, I mean, my initial concern is why would you need tanks? Me personally, an LEO who didn't go to Sanguine for my own reasons.
I think that the simplest answer I can give is June 3rd.
Do third?
June 3rd. What happened?
I don't know.
50 civilians armed with firearms stormed City Hall. But they didn't find what they were looking for. They went to Mission Row, broke their way in, and nearly killed 10 to 12 police officers and robbed all of their equipment. That's what the APCs are for. Moments like that.
I don't mean to cut this short, but I do have to get going. And I'm just gonna. I feel it appropriate to mention this regarding Rue. I can respect that you've chosen Rue as your daughter. No issue with that. None. However, I don't see myself having any kind of relationship with Rue, nor do I wish to speak to her.
Completely
Given what's
fair.
happened.
I wouldn't expect you to.
I'll just leave it at that because, unfortunately, I don't see myself in. I don't see our mindsets ever being in line. Yeah. Pop, love you. Okay.
I love you too.
And if you need something, please let us know.
I will. You got my word on that. Just know whatever, ends here or whatever is to the future to come up. I will always love and care about you guys. And I mean that.
All right. I'm gonna get going. I'll leave you two to it.
All right.
Okay.
Take it easy, honey. So, what's your plans now? Hey, you're a free man.
Yeah. You want me to be blunt with you?
Yeah. Always.
I want to make sure that you are good. I want to be there for you. I'm currently working on getting to know that Mosley guy so he can teach me the ropes on being a mechanic. Because I recently got a job at Milton's. And I have intentions on trying to do the things that make me happy. Because since 2021, when I got the job as an officer, I put the things that I did enjoy, wherever were really things that I guess I cared about, aside so that I could focus on protecting everybody and doing the job. And I couldn't tell you the last time I ever took a step back to try and find myself again. Only been 24 hours, so not going to sugarcoat it, but kind of hard to find my niche knowing that I am just starting to make fresh connections again.
What are you saying?
What do you mean?
What what did you leave behind? Sorry, maybe I misunderstand it. When you became an officer, what did you have to leave behind? Like you mean like tow trucking?
No, I mean, I was a tow truck driver.
Yeah.
I don't have intention on going back to it, but how much do you know about who I was before I joined the PD? Because I don't remember what I told you.
That was a long time ago, son. I don't
I know.
know. I mean, I don't imagine you know much, unless somebody's told you.
I mean, there's really it's hard to say because I lost my memories, and I don't know necessarily when we started to get to know each other. Um, but I was a mechanic up at Harmony, and I always had a passion for cars, and I always had a passion for things that I loved. And I won't lie, I've always been a little bit of an adrenaline junkie, but that's as far as I ever went. When you become an officer on this island, Dad, anybody that knows you feels like they can. Uh, Not for anything that you did personally or I did personally, but PD has a stigma because people don't understand it. I got a job at Milton's so I can meet people, have conversations,
That's nice.
relearn about just what people do. And I'll tell you, my first day, I the city's changed a lot in 5 years. It's so much more different than what I remember.
That's a good job.
It is. It's honest work. So,
Feel like there's a buck coming.
not really.
What you you were talking about being an adrenaline junkie, and then you started working at a mechanic shop. That doesn't really sound like there's a lot of adrenaline going on.
I didn't mean to gloss over it. Um, many years ago, I used to street race. It was the first time I ever did something that made me feel some kind of way. And it didn't hurt anybody. It was more the risk that I took and the love that I had for that. And it was one of the few times uh, it made me happy. Because it didn't hurt anybody.
You're not planning on doing that, are you? Or-
I'd be blatantly lying to you if I didn't say I've thought about it. I absolutely have thought about it. I almost caught a bullet to the head. And I was blessed with a second chance at life. And I told myself that I wanted to do the things that made me happy. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and I'm not going to lie to you. Because if I did, and one day I ever found myself in a predicament where you saw me, then you'd know and call me a liar. Right now, I want to be a mechanic. Right now, I want to learn how to do the job. And right now, that is what I'm doing.
Remind me again, how did Archie die? You were there that night.
I'd be lying if I didn't say I don't actually recall. That was a very hard day on duty for me.
Okay. Justin DeMarco. Remember that one? Same night?
When I got on duty, I got a call from Maeve, and DeMarco had already been deceased. When I got there, I was informed about Archie. He was after DeMarco. Um, I don't know what happened with DeMarco. When he was killed, I got on duty about an hour after that all happened.
Without going into any details, both of them were hit by speeding vehicles. And they died. So to say that street racing can't hurt anybody is, well, that's false. I'm not saying that they died in a street race, but you heard about Forte?
Did I forget about Forte?
I said, did you hear about Forte?
Yeah, 3 times accomplice attempted murder.
Mm-hmm.
Forte was always a fucking nut.
What do you think about him now?
I think I'm not shocked that he went and did exactly what that man was always capable of.
What do you think the police think about him?
I don't think he cares.
No, what do you think the police think about Forte?
He's a cog in a wheel that got replaced. The police probably don't like him.
What do you think the police think about Suarez?
Not a clue.
What do you think about Suarez?
I think I haven't seen him in 7 years.
You think about doing criminal activity while you're a cop?
Every single chase was exciting. But no, I did not.
You know your brother was killed by a cop, right?
Come over anytime after 7. This homebrew will kick your little ass. I promise.
I know he was killed.
It's a raw vegetable app, a raw vegetable entree, and some kind of vegetable dessert.
He was shot in the back of the head by Brian Knight. you start going down this road, you're putting yourself in that same position.
I'm sorry, I've been loca so
Because there's always
About
going to be
getting
cops like Brian Knight. Trigger happy cops.
Listen, why don't we go shopping at Deals and
Like
Dollars?
Brian Knight. Kyle Pred.
Don't you work with Pred?
You're fired.
But did you take the job knowing you worked there?
Yeah, I did. That was part of the reason, actually. I didn't trust anybody else to keep an eye on him. Between you and me, you know what my first case was? Investigating Kyle Bread. Now put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Can you remind me how me doing something that I haven't even done yet, and the results of this conversation is that I'm going to get shot in the back of the head for it after 3 weeks ago I had a gun held back of my fucking head and I had to call and say goodbye to my family? For you to say that to me?
Because Sean,
No. Nope. I want you to think about what you just said to me.
I have and I will. And I'm not going to feel guilty about it. Because I don't want you turning into another TJ Walker. Just look where he's ended up. So if you hate me for this, so be it. But at least you'll be alive.
No. You know the difference? You know the difference between TJ and the comparison that you just made?
What's that?
The man sitting as a city council member was shot, and over 50 people drove to commemorate that man. Can you say the same for Aziz? Can you say the same for Rooker? Look where that ended up. I will always fucking love you. And that will never change. The comparison of being shot in the back of the head is the last thing I need right now.
Some pills are hard to swallow. But if you're thinking about doing crime already, I'm worried.
No, it was classic, man. A Woody.
Then be worried.
Our organization is about to strike.
Which one? Flop? Was this some kind of joke? Is this kind of joke, Flop?
What?
Get in the car right now.
What?
Hands up in the back of the van right
Some kind of sick fucking joke,
What?
right, Flop? It's funny, you can give him
now.
that.
Back of the van.
God,
Flop?
Back of the van right now.
please don't shoot me.
Don't you move.
I'm not gonna move.
The doctor made the wrong choice. You get in the van. Get in the van.
Hey, ain't seen you down at the gym for a while.
That was spicy. What is this?
You can't move.
Sir, do
I'm
not
gonna
move.
search
You will
you
be
to
shot.
retrieve the
Oh my god, this clip. This fucking clip. Oh my god. Remember this?
What? What
Face
item?
away from me
What
now.
item? What item? What item?
Face away. Sir, face away.
Away, sir.
Wait,
Oh,
wait, what?
fuck.
Sir.
Face
I want them
away,
to-
sir.
I want them to
Which
do
way?
shit
Which
so I
way?
can
Left?
testify
Face
against
the
them.
store.
Sir, face away.
I'm looking at the store. I'm looking at the store.
Oh, I thought he was reaching for your gun.
Burn!
Oh, I thought.
Hey,
Oh shit.
Don't run! Get him, bloody medical!
Dark,
Yeah!
Dark, get in.
Yes, sir!
Dark,
Yes, sir!
Get out of the driver's seat, but
Yes, sir!
Dark, what are you doing? Dark, get in.
We need to call him medical! We need an ambulance!
He was reaching for bench
He
guy's
needs
gun.
an ambulance! I'll call an ambulance for him. God damn it, Brad was such a psycho. Can we please get Dark's thoughts at the moment? Honestly, Dark pretty much said everything out loud. Flop even considering... This was very much like a Ziggy at Mirror Park thing. Like, it's very much a very... Like, it mirrors that same conversation. It's like... Flop at least didn't try and hide it, right? So, +1 for that. Hold on. I saw a song request. I don't want to miss it. Ranges, potatoes. Oh, good song. But it's like turn it down a little bit. Yeah, Doc's just like, he's not gonna try and get rid of Flop, is he? Because it's his son, like he did with Ziggy. So he's just gonna try and give him some hard truths about what's gonna happen if he does that, to try and stop him from doing it. But I don't know whether, you know, Doc's in a rough spot right now because he's not fully, I don't know, he's seeing like all these people around him just dropping like flies when it comes to like who he thought he knew, right? Like Rue, not really. Like he liked Rue for like, you know, he liked Rue, and then she goes and does like a bunch of crazy shit, and then he can't like her anymore. And then Etta comes in defending Rue for the thing with Judas. Maple doesn't do anything. He's sitting on the fence like Maple. It doesn't say anything. Ziggy's obviously just off in the deep end with ADMC. And then Flop's not defending Rue, but now wants to do criminal activity. So it's just like, you know, Dark's the problem, and he'll happily be the problem. And it's just like, Dark's least favorite thing in the world is cops who turn into criminals, and now his son's going to be one of those. So what's he supposed to do? Like, what's his options here? What's his options? It's not only his least favorite thing in the world, but it's also a very dangerous thing. Like, we've already seen Ziggy and Rue in the hospital. So now he has to try and not, you know, see his son as like his least favorite person, like his, not least favorite person, but like least favorite type of person in the world, but also